Hey you, welcome back to my page. I'm so excited to have you back. I am Tirsa Hall, and it is a great day for us to discuss all things culture, leadership, and HR. Today we're looking at episode 2 of Tales of a Cryptic Work Culture, where we talk about toxic work conditions and scenarios and what we can do differently to avoid them, repair them, or just remove them altogether. If you're new to this page, go ahead and click like and subscribe so you are the first person that is notified when we have new content. And if you're an existing follower, thank you so much for following me. Continue to give me your feedback. Let me know in the comments what type of scenarios or situations you'd like to hear about, or anything in the culture area, leadership area, or of course HR that you want me to do a video about. I'm happy to meet you halfway and help you to serve you in every way I can. All right, so let's get started with our scenario for the week. Okay, so today's scenario is coming from the Muse, and I'm happy to read it, and then we're going to dissect it. So this employee wrote, I once had a boss who decided that despite very strong performance, they didn't like someone on our team and wanted to see them gone. They didn't have the ability to fire them, but looped the employee out of emails and conversations, talked poorly behind their back, and disregarded any good performance. Not only is that unethical in my opinion, but it also made actually getting our teamwork done way harder. Very interesting scenario. So let's dissect this a bit and talk about what our observations are. So for me, the first observation is you've decided that you don't like someone. My question was, is that really the case, right? Why does that particular individual have the opinion that the manager does not like the employee? So I kind of have to have a question mark there to determine whether or not that is actually the grounds. But what is clear in this is that there is a strong performer identified, and strong performer does not necessarily equal a good employee. So it could be that the employee is efficient in the work that needs to be done, provides great results, but if the employee has a poor attitude, or if the employee has a lack of respect for the superior, that could be a highlight to an actual reason why they may not be favorable in the eye of the particular manager. Either way, it doesn't matter, because every employee has the right to be informed of where they are underperforming. So if this employee had an attitude problem or had issues with respect or something other than the actual performance of the work, it is the leader's obligation to share that with the employee and provide a development plan that will allow for changing or correction of that behavior. So that's the first thing that I notice needs some attention there. Managers should be addressing all areas of concern as it relates to employees. So why is that particular manager in question not confronting the situation? What I've observed in my 18 plus years as a consultant and as an HR expert and culture expert is that many managers fear confrontation, fear having the conversation about something an employee isn't doing so well, especially if the employee is vocal or confident or comfortable speaking and may have rebuttals. And so I think training in this area for any manager that's struggling with that could be something that could be of assistance. Another reason why that manager may not want to confront an employee about their performance that is not directly performance related could be that they don't have sufficient grounds and they really do have a personal vendetta or issue against that employee, and they're just not addressing it directly because they want to find other means to get rid of the employee because they know they don't have the proper grounds in which to do so. Now, before I go any further, I want to take this opportunity again to say that the conversations that we're sharing are not to be considered as legal advice. This is just me, an HR expert professional, sharing based on my knowledge of law, knowledge of general practice, how things may be. We all live in different countries, so the scenarios might be different and the laws might be different that would allow for your support in the structure. So it's always good to do your due diligence and check to see what the law says for your specific country and in your particular organization. But I would say that if the manager has a vendetta or has a personal issue with an employee and is secretly sabotaging their work by not involving them, including them in emails, not sharing information resulting in failure to carry out performance, and that has record or proof or is able to be substantiated by other employees or that particular employee in question, that could pose challenges for the organization, and the organization can be deemed culpable. In some countries, there's something that we call constructive dismissal, and that's when an employee is under such duress in the working environment that they have no other choice but to resign. That particular employee in question could opt to resign because of this situation that was highlighted earlier, and as a result, the company could be responsible for punitive damages if found guilty of literally trying to set an employee up to be fired. So be very careful with these scenarios. And any situation that you're dealing with a difficult employee, the proper way to go through things would be to do a disciplinary and to involve your human resource professional so that you don't make the wrong decisions and you don't make the wrong choices and you don't set any situations that indicate any sort of bias or discrimination. Leaders have a high obligation to communicate with their employees, to know what is happening with their employees, to share what is happening with their employees. When that does not happen because of whatever feelings may exist, then we run the risk of not being in legal compliance, as well as how does that affect everyone else? Which leads us to our final point, which is how does this affect the team? In the scenario that I shared with you, the team made mention, it made getting our teamwork done way, way harder. So that's already an indicator that the team element, where everyone's responsible for proper communication, is being impacted because a manager isn't taking the necessary steps. That, of course, leads to lack of productivity, which will then speak to operational goals and is likely to flag concern to the higher level person that is in authority. That is eventually going to show itself. So as a manager, it's important to think about how my actions is going to affect the overall operations and make better choices to ensure that no one else is involved in whatever else is happening between yourself and an employee in question. We never want to impact the team element and allow people to not be able to perform. And people like our high performers most often want to have productive work. And when they don't see that they're having productive work, they're going to want to go and work elsewhere. So ensuring that your team still is able to work. But more importantly, how is the culture looking in the organization? As an employee, I'm going to be asking myself, am I next? Am I going to be the next target for you? I don't want to become that. Before this becomes a situation, I am going to resign. And here you are now trying to figure out how to fix the situation and how to get more employees back working with your organization. So I think this is a good topic and a good toxic situation to share, because it makes us mindful that the things that we may be thinking about as isolated could have very wide span effects on the organization and the other people that are working in the environment. So we need to make better choices there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Give me your opinion. What do you think of this scenario? Have you been in a similar scenario where you may have had a toxic boss that secretly is trying to get rid of you or is using some type of strategy or vendetta against you? I'd love to hear it. And let me know what you want to hear for the next scenario, as we will be doing these weekly. I look forward to seeing you back again here on my channel. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day. Make your mark on this world today.